I don't know how the Cavs are doing, though, because Tristan Thompson and LeBron James were seen jawing at each other. They get the win in double overtime against the Pacers. They need double overtime to do it, though. LeBron has a huge game in terms of stats, but then you see him and Ty Lue kind of going at it, and Tristan Thompson. What happened here?
Well, there's a lot of frustration right now with LeBron James, and LeBron James apologized for how he handled Tristan Thompson after the game. So Tristan Thompson has been a source of frustration for the Cavaliers all year. He's not the same player that he's been. It's part of its conditioning, part of its focus, part of its intensity. But in a night like last night where the Cavs are all of a sudden, trying to get that one seed back, they're in a tie in the loss column right now. Every game is extremely meaningful for them. James has given everything he has, but on the defensive end of the floor, the personnel just isn't all that good. So for the Cavs last night, here's the thing about the Cavs last night. They did beat the Pacers in double overtime. Indiana is a team that has lost 4 in a row and 7 of their last 10. This is a team that at times doesn't really give a lot of effort. Yes, it was a fun duel between George and LeBron James, but the reality is for the Cavs against a team that's floundering like this, they need double overtime to be able to get it done and kind of give every ounce of effort that they have. It speaks to a larger problem. Now, the next question is this. Is the larger problem solved once the playoffs start? Is this just an emotional and mental fatigue and maybe physical fatigue situation and some conditioning stuff for the Cavs that as they get into the playoffs and the games are a little more spread out, it becomes a little bit easier for them? That is absolutely possible. But nonetheless, this situation bears watching with Thompson and James and really LeBron kind of losing patience with some of these guys, maybe more than he should. And I think LeBron James right now, last night, 52 minutes, and I get where Ty Lue's going here. They want that one seed, and they're trying to right the ship, and there's no way to right the ship without James on the floor. But you are wondering from a priority standpoint, is this team moving in the right direction, and are they as focused as they need to be on the bigger picture? You get the impression from the Cavs right now that they're all reading the press clippings about how they're coming apart, and it's becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's going to be very interesting to watch them down the stretch, and then very interesting to see them in the first round where, they could end up. Right now it's lined up with the Miami Heat, and that may not be an easy matchup for them either. For the Cavs right now, anything they're going to get, they're going to have to earn. And I think they figured they'd be coasting by now, and I think some of that is playing into this mental and emotional fatigue.
How are things working out there, Geltzy, as far as we kept hearing, all right, wait till Kevin Love and J.R. Smith are back, and we'll be able to get everybody in the rotation going, and they're back. And they do have all their players there available to them, and it's still not working out. Why is that?
Well, first of all, Michael, there's a larger problem at play here for the Cavaliers. And that's the fact that they don't have a lot of premium defensive personnel, which is part of the reason you got LeBron ripping into Thompson last night, because he is part of their premium defensive personnel. At the end of regulation, he had a ridiculous foul on Paul George that he never should have taken. And they're not necessarily playing all that smart. But again, you look at who comes off the bench for that team last night. And this is even without Kyle Korver. But, Darren Williams is not a wonderful defensive player. Channing Frye is one of the worst defensive bigs in the league. Then you look in their starting lineup. Love was playing excellent defensively before he got hurt. His conditioning isn't great. That doesn't hurt him a ton on the offensive end of the floor. It hurts him on the defensive end of the floor. Kyrie Irving's never been a good defensive player, and he's had times that he's kind of focused and in and out and hasn't necessarily been who he's needed to be effort-wise on D. And then you get JR, who granted is going through a terrible thing personally. He's found his shot a little bit last night, but he's nowhere close to being what he was defensively. Shumpert has not played great for them. They can expect more from him, and they should. Richard Jefferson's an older player at this point. I just don't know. They've kind of counted on this LeBron effect for LeBron to kind of bleed into everybody else and make everybody good defensive players. It can't always be that, and sometimes you got to get guys that actually can guard as opposed to guys that LeBron needs to motivate to guard. And that seems also like it's causing a little bit of a larger problem in terms of how that team's getting along and communicating. It's a tough situation here, but you look at, we thought it would be okay with Love and JR coming back. They've both reverted back to what they've been defensively for a large portion of their careers, and it's coming at a horrible time for the Cavaliers.